Now this morning we've got something a little bit different. We have got our marriage panel. This is the final week of our Hitch series, the marriage series. And to finish us off in style, we have got 4 couples that are going to be sharing some life experience, some wisdom from their own journey. And so, it is with great excitement that I introduce to you our couples this morning. We have got Pastor Mitch and Pastor Taryn. We have got Ralph and Irene, Derek and Christine, and all the way from Maddington campus, we've got Garth and Jazz who are going to be sharing. And as you take your seats, why don't you do a bit of a wedding dance? Or just take a seat, it's up to you. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for being a part of this morning. We're very grateful to you. Thank you, worship team. Great introduction. Brilliant. Well, this morning we're in for a little bit of a treat because, you know, there is one thing to hear teaching from the pulpit, and it is powerful, it is significant, it is life-changing, but there is also something powerful about hearing from personal experience and to know what different people's perspectives and understandings of marriage and how to negotiate marriage and relationships is all about. Now, today is for married people. But it's also for single people. It's for those that have gone through divorce. It is for every single person in this place. And my prayer is that we would catch a heart of God's heart for relationships. We know that marriage, it is between a man and a woman. It is designed to be the family unit that eventually kids will come and is supposed to be representative of that. But greater than anything else, marriage is actually a reflection of our relationship with God. Jesus Christ is the head, and we being the bride, the one that he takes such delight and such pride in. And that is why we can learn from 2 different perspectives today. From that perspective of how to work through our relationships and our marriages, or to prepare for the future for a relationship or marriage, but also in our relationship with God. So thank you, team, for being a part of this morning. We're very excited to have you. I'm going to ask you just to quickly introduce yourselves. Let us know about your family. Let us know about where you met, how you fell in love. We'll start with Derek and Christine at the end.
So, we met at church in New Zealand. 21 years. We've been married 21 years. We've got 3. Actually, I'm not going to say the number of children because it keeps changing. We have 3.
It keeps changing. You might need to explain this.
Okay, we tend to gather people, and we become parents and they become kids, and that's just all good.
Okay, that's good. But you do know the number of children that have grown up in your home?
The official number of children that grew up in our house are 3, but now if one's married, well, that makes 4 straight away, and then...
Okay, here we go. Yes. All right, we understand. Fantastic.
What else do you want to know? Let me think.
What do you love about Christine?
What do I love about Christine? The most outstanding thing about Christine is her self-sacrificial serving of others all the time. All the time, laying down her life for others, serving to others all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The only other thing that's outstanding about her, I guess, is that she's always right. That's a gift of wisdom, I think.
Yes. I had this quote from Lyndon B. Johnson. He said, "I've learned that only 2 things are necessary to keep one's wife happy. First, let her think that she's having her own way, and second, let her have it." So I think that you've probably got that down pat. That's fantastic. And Christine, what do you love about Derek? And tell us also about when you got married and how long you've been married. Obviously, you got married when you were 7, so...
I got married at the same time he did.
Yes, good answer.
The thing I love about Derek the most is that he's authentic. He is a man of God. He lives what he believes, and to every person he meets, whether it's at Bible school or at youth or at home or our family and friends, they all get the same man, and he really is that valuable man of God.
Wonderful. Pastor Mitch, Pastor Taryn, you've been married for 19 months.
Yeah, something 18, 19 months, I think. It was February last year, something like that. Lost count already.
But it blows after such a long time, doesn't it? So
yeah, it feels like forever.
We'll take that in the positive sense, but let's continue.
In a good way. So we first met serving in kids' church together next door. So single men join kids' church and you might meet your wife. So I've been married 18, 19 months since then. And I would say probably one of the many things I love most about Taryn is that she makes me better. Some people think I'm quite good and they don't realise the things that she does to me to make me better. All right.
Brilliant, brilliant. What about yourself, Taryn?
That was beautiful, babe.
We have some tissues.
We're still in that honeymoon phase, as you guys can see. I think, that's awesome, that's good, I want to be like you guys. I think the thing that I love most about Mitch is how well he loves me. So he is just such a loving person, and I never feel unloved or ever question it, but he's just so good at loving me. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does make sense, yes. That's wonderful. That's the best compliment, I think, for certainly for a marriage panel series. Brilliant. What about yourself, Ralph and Irene? Tell us a little bit about your journey. When did you meet? And
we've been married 41 years.
wow.
Almost 41 years, and we're still in our honeymoon stage.
Great.
That's exciting. We actually met in Tasmania. Irene's from Western Australia, I'm from the eastern states, so the east met the west and the south. And it was there that we were in missionary training college and began our service to serve the Lord. The thing that I love about Irene is a little bit like Mitch has already said, is that the impartation that this girl has put into my life. Not only is she the most beautiful woman still to me, but she has imparted into me, because of her love and her commitment to serve the Lord, it's inspired me so much in my journey of faith. Secondly, because of her love and her kindness for others, she's actually challenged me and influenced my life to reach out to others. I was quite an indrawn sort of a person, but her life has caused me to say, people matter to me and to God. And finally, she has such a love for life and a can-do attitude, that this has actually challenged me to go higher in being able to reach and achieve my God-given potential. And that's why I love her so much.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
We've had wonderful 41 years. What I love most about Ralph is that he's my best friend. I just love doing things with him. I love working with him. I love being with him. And one wonderful thing is that he's always able to fix my problems. I mean, that's great, isn't it? And not only just the spiritual and the sort of emotional problems where you get the big hugs and everything, but he can fix anything, girls, I tell you. It's wonderful, and has a wonderful caring nature.
Wonderful, wonderful. Jazz and Garth, when did you guys get married?
We got married in 2000, so it'll be 15 years this year.
That does make it easy to count, doesn't it?
It was really, really good. We didn't plan it like that. It must have been God. But we actually met. I met Jasmine when I was 8 years old, and she was 6, and we went to the same school. She had to be crushing me back then. She was my reading buddy. Thank goodness she was 6, because I was 8, badly dyslexic, couldn't read. So I was just looking at the pictures and make up the story, knowing that she couldn't read anyway. So. But what I love most about my wife, there's so much. I was thinking to myself, where do I start? I was thinking, what did I say? Yeah, what did I love about my wife? I went, I don't know. And she helps me remember things. But I love her integrity, her heart for others. She's a wonderful mother, but only because I think that she's such a wonderful wife. it enables her to do it, but she strengthens me. I actually feel, and it's really hard to admit as a guy, but I feel lost without her. Like, times when she goes away, I think, yes, guys' weekend. And as soon as she goes, an hour later, I'm going, yeah, what do I do now? I honestly don't know. She really does complete me as a person. Not only is she beautiful on the outside to me, but on the inside is what really matters, and I love that.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Kate. I have also almost been married for 15 years. Funny that. And I met my husband when we were at school, but after that we met again in church. So it seems to me that church is a really great place to meet people. So I encourage those single people to come to church. The best place to find your life partner. We have 3 children. And so we are in the early parenting years of our marriage. And I love this man. I love the way that he leads our family. And I love the way that he makes me laugh. He still makes me laugh. Sometimes he's not that funny. But a lot of the time, he actually really is funny. And I think I still get surprised at how much he still makes me laugh. And he just loves learning. And I love that about my husband, because he just loves learning about God. He loves learning. He loves studying the Bible and learning more about God. But things that he finds that he's passionate about, he just loves to learn about it. So when it comes to being married, that's a great thing, because he loves learning about me. He loves our children, and he loves learning about being a parent and being the best parent that he can be. And I just love the way that he loves to learn. So that's it in a nutshell.
So to summarise it, sometimes he really is funny. It's basically what you are. That's fantastic. Genuinely. Well, fantastic. Well, thanks, panel. That was a great time, and I really appreciate your wisdom there. But we do have some more questions, so we're going to go a little bit deeper. Are you ready? Brace yourselves. We're going to start with Pastor Mitch and Pastor Taryn this morning. And so, you watch, you go to the movies and you watch the romantic comedies and or the dramas, and there's always this one special person that fate is going to bring together. Are you a believer in the one?
Short answer, no. The reason I believe no is because I think too many people spend a very, very long time searching for one specific person that's Prince Charming or their princess, and we're all human. We've all got mistakes. If you've got a list that's so impossible to fill except for with someone from a movie, that person's probably not real. That's why they were in the movie. If you're searching for the character in the movie, they're a character. And I think that it's more about finding someone where your lives are heading in the same direction. You have fun together, you enjoy being together, and you really can just do life together going in the same direction. For me, that's why I love Taryn, because we met in kids' church. We both were, we want to serve God. That's what we want to do. Our lives were heading in the same direction. We got to know each other. We had heaps of fun. That's good. And then I know I was far from perfect. I know I still have plenty of mistakes and my own flaws. And that's why I say I love that she makes me better, because, I'm not perfect. She's pretty close, but we keep making each other better, and we learn and we grow and we just do life together. And if you're looking for your movie character perfect wife, then you might not find them.
So if there's not this one person, not that special person that fate is going to bring together, what are maybe a couple of things that we should be looking for? I'll open it up. Yeah, Pastor Tam, why don't you answer?
Cool, okay, well, I guess for me and Mitch, we actually, the first time I think I knew that, hey, this guy has potential, we'd actually finished serving in church together and we were going on a road trip. And so we're in the car and the rest of the people had fallen asleep. And so we just start talking and I'm like, oh, so, what are your dreams? What are your ambitions? general road trip chat, as you do. And so he started sharing with me, I guess, where his life was going and what he wanted to do. And I'm like, man, that's so cool. Like, that's what I want to do as well. And I think in that moment I thought, hey, we could actually maybe work something out here. But, I think that's the number one. If you guys are going on the same direction, that's awesome, because you can do it together. God can use the two of you to make you stronger. And also, I know before we started dating, Mitch did this really cute thing and he prayed and fasted for us. It was really adorable. And then he wrote down all these words that God had given him about our relationship. And for me, that was so good, because I was a little bit scared going into a relationship just because of, I guess, where we had come from. And so I said to God, look, I really need to know that this is what you want me to do. I'm too scared to do it on my own. Please let me know. And so throughout that time, I've just had this inward peace that, this is it, this is okay. And I think that if you ask God to give you that, it's something that will keep you through the 2 years, but
19 months.
I'm praying through the rest of our time, knowing that, hey, God is in this, and that's okay. And if He's given you that peace and that yes, that's what you need, and then go for it.
Fantastic. Now the Bible talks about leaving and cleaving. So I'm going to direct this one at yourselves, Ralph and Irene. Firstly, can you explain what that means? And secondly, what are some things you had to leave behind to I guess, start your marriage and your family unit?
Yes, leaving and cleaving means you've got to leave and cleave.
Great
you
way
something
to
go and you take hold of something. And I guess for us, probably a little bit different to a lot of other couples, because we'd already left our homes, we'd left our families, we'd left our friends, we'd actually left our jobs, and we'd committed ourselves to serve the Lord. And so we were in a training college being prepared for the Lord. And so it was a bit unusual to say, well, what do I leave? But the thing that we found that we had to leave was actually the family culture that had been ingrained in our lives over those 24, 25 years prior to meeting each other. And so this included our family values, the rules that are in families that your mum and dad have implanted into your lives, the ways of doing things. Every home, every family does things differently. And so, for in the example, in the area of finance, in my family, my mum handled all the money. If she hadn't, we wouldn't have had any money. And in my wife, in Irene's family, her dad very strongly controlled the money. And so there was such a difference when we come together in the areas of the way we do values and the way that we do things. But one of the things that we did learn when we came into marriage, and this was through some training and study that we've done, that when you come into marriage, you actually come with a suitcase in your hand. And in that suitcase contains all of that past values of what family is all about. And you come together, you actually, your first day that you're home, and you open those suitcases, and all of a sudden, those two worlds come together. And it's almost as if some of those things collide, and some of those things don't match. And so there comes a time through those, especially those early years of your married life, where you're looking in each other's suitcase and you're throwing some things out, and there's some arguments and there's some contention, but what you're actually doing is developing a new suitcase.
Great.
That you take out of each other's family backgrounds and you put them into this one suitcase. And as you look around and you meet other Christian families, you're saying, yes, I like that. Yes, I like that. Why don't we bring that into our lifestyle? And so in the end, we end with our own family suitcase, which actually is a representation and expression of the new family culture that we represent.
Right.
And then that is handed on to our children.
That's awesome.
For them to do what they want to do with that.
So using that analogy about the suitcase, what do you do if your spouse is not a Christian, not a believer? Maybe Derek and Christine, if you can give some insight into this.
Well, speaking from my vast amount of experience, which is 0. The answer to every question that they're going to ask this panel is it's complicated. Whenever anyone asks me a question, my first answer is always it's complicated, because it really depends on what you're bringing. Like, realistically, the suitcase that I bring from my family and my Christian background, which I didn't really have much of one, and the non-Christian partner, there's going to be some things in their suitcase that are better than the things in mine. The way they handle money might be better than I do. Just because I happen to go to church and be a believer doesn't mean that I'm maybe better at home maintenance or family discipline or finance than them. So we don't want to be, I know better about everything just because I'm a Christian. That's a mistake. We don't want to throw away everything that we bring, because the ways of God are good and beneficial, and the more of the kingdom you have in your house, the better. So there's going to be a negotiation process. We're going to have to learn together what things are compatible and what things we can do. There's always going to be some contention, there's always going to be some differences, but when light comes in, if it brings a benefit, most people are pretty awake to realise actually I'm better off. And so the things in your suitcase, those things actually help us better. So through time and through displaying the goodness of the ways of God, I think we can work things out.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that insight, for that wisdom. Now, during meet and greet, everyone that heard about the panel kept asking me this one question over and over again. And so I'm going to direct this one at you, Jazz and Garth. And the question is this: how often should a married couple have sex? By the way, no one asked me that in meet and greet, just because I did spend most of my time in this area. No one did ask me that question. But let's go. Let's have a bit of a pick me up and wake up a bit. Garth.
Well,
it's so great to be here, by the way. It's so good having you over at Bibra Lake campus. We thought we'd start baptising you in fire type deal.
Look, it's a good topic. I like it. Look, I think that when I first got married, I had a different view. I thought it was like every spare moment of every day. But that was probably a bad expectation to go into marriage with. Maybe should have talked about that one first. But there is no right amount, to be completely honest with you. It's got to be something that you, as a couple, talk about openly and agree on. It's actually not a topic that is often talked about amongst married couples, believe it or not, is this expectation of sex. And it can actually cause a lot of destruction if it's not done correctly. But when it is done correctly, it's the glue that really strengthens and can hold a marriage together. So to answer the question, there is no amount. You want to add to this?
Just talk about your expectations. Just keep talking about it, because it is such an important part of your marriage. And stresses come in, children come into the mix, there's work, there's other relationships, there's all sorts of stuff going on in life, and it's just one of those things that's too important just to push to the side and just to leave to the back of the pile. So if I can just encourage anything, it's just talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Look, our needs are so different, and we're actually created different biologically. So men, very generally speaking, men need sex more than women. So this is a biological thing, but talk about it. Talk about your needs. Be open to communicate with your spouse. Don't leave it just as the last thing that we sort of get to. Make it a priority in your marriage.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, obviously sex is supposed to be a great blessing and that glue, like you mentioned. What happens when it becomes a destructive force? So when an affair or something of that nature takes place, and Derek and Christine, I know that you've helped a lot of people going through some challenging times and have a real counselling gift. Can you tell us a little bit what should a couple do if they're facing a challenge like this of such magnitude?
Okay, I got this one as well. The answer is it's complicated. No, no, this one really is complicated. What I reckon is you really need to get a word from God and do what God says, because there's what works for one couple is not going to work for the other couple, and you can't just you can't flip a coin and take a guess, and you can't just follow and do what someone else said. If someone's talking to me, what should I do, and I counsel them, well, what you should do is you should dig your heels in and work together and sort this out, and it turns into a complete disaster, then they're going to point to me and say it's my fault. So I've learned that I don't tell people what to do, but if God says to do it, then you can be sure that's the right way to go. And sometimes God's desire is for you guys to work this out and sort it out. And if He speaks that over your life, He'll give you the power and you'll make it. But sometimes, if, like Jesus did say, that marital unfaithfulness was a legitimate grounds for a divorce. And to force someone not to when God is, well, the covenant's gone, there's no blessing from God on it, God has walked away, if God's walked away from it, I'm not going to slave myself into it. So we need to hear from God. If God says stay, you've got to stay and you've got to work it out and God will be there. But if God doesn't, then you've got to hear what God says and go with what God says. And the best thing that I can do as a counsellor is support the person in what God has called them to do. I make a big mistake if I'm pushing what I think is right in someone else's life, and I've never walked in their life, I've never lived there. I don't know the things that person's not telling me. But the things that often that they're not telling me are the things that actually really matter. So when I'm giving counsel, and this sort of serious thing, people have to get a word from God, and then they have to stand on what God has said.
Fantastic. We are going to shift gear a little bit, and communication is a pivotal, some say it's the lifeblood of a relationship or of a marriage, and there's a new piece of technology that has come out to help us with that. So if we can turn our attention to the screens and just take a look at this.
Hey, are you golfing today?
Yeah,
It's the second time this week.
but you said it was fine.
It is fine. It's perfectly fine.
Are you confused by female behavior? Wish you had a translator to understand what she means? Well, you're in luck. Introducing the Manslater, a revolutionary device that translates woman language into simple man words. Finally, the power to know what she means.
Okay, cool. Let me just check my wife. Hey, babe, a tea time open up later. You mind if I go?
Fine. If that's what you want to do.
No go! Hey, whoa!
On second thought, I think I'll just stay here with you and watch The Notebook.
Aw, how sweet.
Now that's more like it. The Manslater uses emotion deciphering technology to help you out of the toughest jams.
Hey, is everything okay? You sound upset.
Why would I be upset?
We're not anniversary, sir.
No way! Happy anniversary, babe.
You remembered.
Come on, of course I did.
Thanks to the Manslater's patented FemLogic processing chip, now any man can decode statements like,
Are you wearing that?
"You came now."
Hey, do you want to get some coffee?
Me want coffee.
Do you think she's pretty?
You think she prettier than me?
Aw, you're such a good friend.
Me never date you.
I'm fine.
Me not fine.
I'll be ready in 5 minutes.
Me ready 13 minutes.
Do whatever you want.
You know do what you want.
Could you rub my shoulders a little bit?
No hanky panky. Only massage. Be serious. The Manslater even works on men. Finally, women can learn the deeper meaning of his words. Whoa.
Your beauty is stunning.
Hey, mind if I catch a movie with the guys?
You are a lovely, wonderful woman who meets all of my needs. And even though I will miss you, this night I wish to see death cock nine with my brain.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Really. Looking at me.
The Manslater can even be customized, with voices of real celebrities being impersonated, like Yoda. In much trouble you are. To the doghouse go. Or Mr. T. I'm hitting a fool who leaves the toilet seat open. So get your Manslater today. Clarity is just a phone call away. You need buy me.
Now, of course, this piece of technology will change the answer to my next question, but as yet we haven't been able to get it in Australia. So, my question for you is, what rules do you have for fighting properly in your marriage? And Jazz and Garth, I'm going to get you guys to answer this one.
No punching, no biting, no spitting, no kicking. That's just for Jazz. Now, when we argue, we try to do it well, as well as we can. I think whoever brings up the issue first sets the topic, basically for us. It's so important to stay on topic, because normally if we bring up a topic, the first thing you want to do is defend yourself. So you bring up something that they've done wrong, which is the same. So if I say, Jazz, why do you leave your clothes on the ground? Don't use always and never. Don't use absolute words when it comes to arguing. Okay, so I go, Jazz, why do you leave your clothes on the ground? How many times? She goes, you leave your clothes on the ground too. And I go, okay, that's fine. We can talk about that after, but right now we're talking about you leaving clothes on the ground. So you've got to keep it coming back to the issue at hand. So keep coming back and be happy to talk about whatever they want to discuss. That's clearly an issue that they haven't brought up. But stick to the one issue that you are initially arguing on, which is the topic that's first brought up. So that is a really, really handy piece of advice. And obviously, once we've sorted it out and Jasmine's repented and stuff like that, then we can talk about me leaving clothes on the ground and sort that out. It's the best way to get through it, or else you just end up, you can't remember what you started arguing about in the first place. But
yeah, Jez, why don't you share with us maybe an example? I mean, I'm sure Garth doesn't have any issues, but maybe just an example that you guys have had to work through of a conflict or a challenge.
Just one. Okay. We've got a good one here. My husband's workouts. So he likes to work out, and this, like I said, he loves learning. So when he learns about something, he just is an all or nothing kind of guy. So when he's learning about these workouts, they were taking up all of his time. It was just a bit of an obsession. So these workouts were sort of 6 or 7 nights a week, and clearly we needed to have a conversation about this because it was just taking up way too much time. So this is something that we sat down and talked about. He sort of shared how important it was for him to work out, and I shared how important it was for me not to come after all of the workouts. And we actually had a conversation about it. Sometimes even our conversations about things get a little bit heated, but we share where we're both coming from and really try and listen to what the other person is saying, and we came to a compromise. So I think that was 3 or 4 times a week, was it, babe?
It was, look, she wasn't so good at the negotiating table on this one. However, she did manage to wrangle 2 days a week out of me, so 5 nights for workouts and 2 for her. But then there was also family commitments and stuff as well, so I said if there's any extras on top of that, then I'll happily put it aside.
That's very good. That was a tough decision to make. And there are sacrifices in marriage. I have to say that in all the time that Dora and I have been married, an intensive workout routine has never been something that we've had to discuss or really argue about. So, it's good to know that there is new territory. How do you, let's shift gear again quickly, how do you keep your marriage strong through all the seasons of life? And Ralph and Irene, 41 years, you must have had some challenges, some things to face. How do you stay strong throughout all that time?
Yeah. Okay, well, some of the things that we've sort of built into our lives, and number one, as it's already been mentioned, communication would be a big thing, and we've tried to make that a priority along the way, and spending time talking and listening. And it's easy to say that, isn't it, really, in amidst busy lives, when one person's going one way and the other person's going the other way. So it's really, set your time, make sure you do get time to talk things through. I know sometimes if Ralph is I'm trying to talk to him and he's on the way out the door, and I'll say, I'm still talking.
Something no man in this room could ever identify with. So.
Praying and reading together, that's been something that we've done a lot of, and we try and sort of have something every morning, if we can. It's a goal. Sometimes if we've got to rush out, well, you know, that's okay. And we have a set thing. We have a devotional book so that we can go straight to it. We don't sit down and think, oh, what do we read today, or what do we pray about today? So we've got that all sitting on the table, ready to go. Look, we've tried to learn from others, and we've tried to just be always learning. I feel that you can never be too old to keep learning. Yeah. Learning from each other, learning from the young, learning from the old, to develop our marriage skills, really, and to get better at it, and to make a good marriage, because you know, we want to be good mentors for our friends, don't we? We want to be good mentors for our children, and those are, you know, if you're in a non-Christian workplace, crumbs, you know, I'm in a bike club, I'm the only Christian in that bike club, so, you know, that might be the only person they see in Jesus' hands and feet. So let's do the best we can at it. Right. So we've learnt to read books, select good Christian books. You know, if you hear someone, pastor or leader, home group leader, this is a good book to read on marriage. So get it and read it and learn. We've tried to, you know, often get to marriage seminars. The last one we went to a few years ago was the Alpha Marriage Seminar. That was really great. And one thing we learnt from that, which we've kept, we never part from one another unless we pray together, we kiss each other, and we tell each other we love each other. So that's something that we always do.
Brilliant, brilliant. Love that. Christine, I'm going to direct the final question to yourself. How would you help someone that has fallen out of love with their partner to fall in love again?
That's a good one. My husband tells me that falling in love a second time is probably not going to happen, that you need to jump. You have to make purposeful decisions to actually find the good things in them, to remember the good things that you fell in love with them for, to enjoy time with them, and just make time to enjoy each other. That's what I think you'd need to do.
Wonderful. Great answer. We're going to finish in a moment, but I want to give you a couple of opportunities. First one, can you share with us a snapshot, bite-sized piece of biblical advice for every married couple or anyone going into marriage? We'll start from Garth.
Actually, mine was from James chapter 1, what was said today, consider it pure joy when you go through trials of many kinds. It's actually, no, but you will, you do. Your marriage it's what builds a marriage when you trial well together.
Right.
And so if you do that though, it produces perseverance, which is hupomone, which is the Greek word, which actually means endurance. It's a character quality. One of your 4 core character qualities. And it's the endurance that creates a perfect person. Perfect meaning teleos, complete. The person that Christ is actually, the good work he started and he'll carry on through to completion. Teleos, it's the same. So we need endurance in our life in order to do it. So I encourage you to push through. Whatever battles that you go through during your marriage, stay committed. Don't quit. Push through those breaking points and you'll see success.
Brilliant.
I would say that it's a covenant, not a contract. We go into marriage as a contract, it's conditional, but as a covenant relationship, it's not conditional. It's a self-sacrificing love that is so for the other person. And when we really grab hold of that covenant love, it's just something really, really beautiful in a Christian marriage.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
I think we'd both say the key to our almost 41 years of marriage has been from Matthew chapter 6:33, to seek first the kingdom of God and his right way of living, and everything else will be given unto you. And I think it's that focus on finding God in our lives, finding his purpose for our life, being committed to fulfill the purposes of God, and allowing the word of God to transform our lives individually and then as a couple, that has been the key to us continuing on to love and serve him.
Brilliant. Love it. Love it. Pastor Rich and Taryn?
Oh, no pressure to follow that. But what I would say is a bit like Garth was saying with consider it pure joy. Have fun. Never stop having fun. Explore, continue dating, continue, laugh together, enjoy things together, find what you can do that you enjoy together. and just have fun. It'll keep it interesting. It'll keep it, enjoyable through the many trials.
We haven't been married that long. I think I don't have a scripture, but God is so good. Our God is so good, and marriage is God's thing, and He has given it to you as a blessing. So my encouragement would be, don't settle for what the world tells us a marriage looks like. What God has for you is so much better. Pursue that, see that, continue to chase after that, and just don't settle.
I want to agree with what Ralph said a little bit. One of the things that's really clear to me was marriage is not something where different rules apply to the rest of life. All that happens in marriage is that everything you really are is intensified greatly. And so maybe you can put on a nice face at work or a nice face at church, but at home it's a real deal and everything's under pressure. So the more of Jesus you've got in you, then the more great it's going to be. But the other thing is that the Bible says that we love because He first loved us. Yeah. And a lot of the time, we've stopped letting the love of Jesus come into us, and so we can't give it out. And some people just need to open up, and because of hurt, we need to get past the things that we're carrying in our suitcase that are binding up our hearts and locking our hearts. And love's not coming in, and therefore love's not coming out. Yeah. And if one thing that would be a key for some people is to let the love of God Jesus in, right? Because then that can put love in your heart, and from there love can flow out.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Now, quick fire round before we finish up this morning. I just want a simple yes or no. Your yes is going to be a thumbs up. Your no is going to be a thumbs down. Do you agree or disagree with the following statements? And maybe just put the hand that's furthest from your spouse away for safety reasons. Okay, a married person should have a best friend of the opposite sex. Consistent answer. Should household chores be split 50-50? Okay, this is interesting. The male should always be in charge of the finances. We got unanimous here? Great. Children should be allowed to sleep in parents' bed on a regular basis. The toilet seat should always be put down after. Husbands and fathers should not be responsible for changing soiled nappies. There should never be conflict in marriage. Okay. Marriage counselling is reserved for those whose marriages are in dire straits. Men really are from Mars and women are most definitely from Venus. The best is yet to come for your marriages. Fantastic, church. Let's thank our marriage panel this morning. We really appreciate your time, your wisdom, your insight, and we look forward to having you back here for 11 a.m. service. Now, I just want to